Now, astronauts abroad the space station gave NASA TV viewers a peek into how they plan to celebrate Thanksgiving in space. Without a carving knife in sight, along with the traditional turkey meal, dishes like mashed potatoes and cornbread dressing, candied yams and cranberry dessert, all individually sealed in foil packages, are part of the year's Thanksgiving menu. Expedition 53 Commander Randy Bressig said he was looking forward to a home-cooked meal next year.
And Sabo's got the candied yams. And so these are all things that remind us a little bit of home. My wife is a phenomenal cook, like my mother was, and like Joe mentioned, the process of the day of Thanksgiving and preparing everything is something that I look forward to the next time.
Now, Bressig, along with the European Space Agency's Paolo Nespoli, will return to Earth in a few weeks with a planned landing in Kazakhstan on December 14. NASA astronauts Joe Acaba and Mark Wendy will remain in orbit through late February.
Thanksgiving.
We don't have anything remarkable.
December 11th will mark the 45th anniversary of the Apollo 17 landing on the moon. Astronaut, geologist and Apollo 17 crew members Harrison Jack Schmidt offers his perspective on the historic landing.
Later this year, Apollo 17 astronaut and geologist Jack Schmidt will mark 45 years since his first steps on the moon in December 1972. Those footprints left an impression on both the moon and on Schmidt.
No matter how much preparation you have for experiences like stepping on the moon, it's going to be more than you ever anticipated.
Schmidt was the first trained field geologist to observe the moon up close and personal, and he found himself discovering unexpected things with every step.
Every rock that we examined had something new that I didn't expect, and surprises is what geologists like. That's why you're exploring, is to see the things that nobody's ever seen before.
Schmidt spent a combined 22 hours outside of the spacecraft during his 3 excursions on the moon. Before his own trip, Schmidt trained other Apollo astronauts, sharing with them his in-depth knowledge of fieldwork.
The main thing was to expose them to as many different, say, geological experiences as we possibly could. Get them out in the field. Don't let them sit in the classroom.
He treated training scenarios on Earth the same way he would if they were on the moon, including simulated equipment, backpacks, and cameras strapped to the front of spacesuits. Astronauts could then focus on what differences in the rocks they were seeing and what rock samples were best to collect, essentially giving them the fundamental field geological experiences that they needed to succeed. The 4 or 5 days per month Schmidt spent training astronauts in the field really did make a difference.
The quality and diversity of the Apollo sample collection, independent of Apollo 17, where you had an experienced geologist, the quality and diversity of that sample collection is just remarkable.
Fortunately, the current Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter mission, or LRO, is changing the game, bringing back high-quality photography of the moon that Schmidt only wished he'd seen before his own trip.
The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter program now has provided us with a much, much higher resolution suite of photographs for any future astronauts.
What we learned from the Apollo missions helped lay the groundwork for LRO, and LRO will help guide future explorers.
Every new environment in which a geologist works is usually very different than the last, but you have learned things from your previous experiences that do in fact enable you to maximize the value of your new experience.
Schmidt has his fingers crossed for future moon exploration, a landscape he considers holds answers to many questions about the early solar system.
You can hear people talk about it, but you can't absorb it until you're there.